Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 8th and final round of the 2025 IACT Winter Warm-Up Series. I'm Nick Mumley, and alongside me in the virtual broadcast booth here tonight is Michael Stridesberg. And tonight, Michael, we have the EastRise Credit Union Doug Hoar Memorial 146 at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.
That is correct. Final season and a whale of a championship battle set up as well. 5 drivers within 10 points for this year's title. It is going to be a barn burner as we get down to it. The field getting lined up now for heat number 1.
And it is going to be the biggest and most important race of 2025. One of the longer races we do. I think in total distance traveled, it will be the longest race that we do. To go along with $146 to win tonight. This is the crown jewel event of the IACT schedule. Nothing else like it. It's going to be a good show here tonight.
Right now, just trying to get our screen back. Had a quick technical issue there, but we will be right with you in just a second, Nick. In the meantime, what are your predictions here for tonight's event, if you have any?
Well, we got to have plenty going into this one. There is so much riding on this race, as we talked about at the end of last week's show. 5 drivers within 10 points of the championship here tonight. This is the final race of the season. Logan Powers leading the way with 463 points, and then 8 behind him sits Bob Eldred in second, and then 1 point behind Bob Eldred, 9 points off the lead is Ryan Kuhn in the 72, and then tied for 4th is the 45 of Casey Beatty and the 08 of Richie Murray with 153. And we will take just a quick break here and be right back. All right, we apologize for a quick technical glitch there, but we are back and ready to run here for the remainder of heat number 1. As you see the field making their way under caution here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Nick Mumley here with you alongside Michael Stridesberg. And Michael, let's take a look here, see what might have caused this caution.
Well, we're trying to figure out what happened, but it looks like it was in the back of the field. Our screen has defaulted to another car, but we do see Ryan Kuhn spun out. Now that's a development there, Nick.
Wow, Ryan Kuhn going around there in the 72. One of our 5 championship contenders coming into the day, just 9 points back, as you can see here. Here's a look at what might have happened to him.
Well, we see the 57 of Darrington get in the wall.
Wow.
And get caught right back into him.
Yeah, Todd Darrington just loses control of the 57 car. Nowhere to go for Ryan Kuhn. And big problems there for car 72 as we ride around under the caution flag conditions here. We'll take a look now at your... we'll take you a run through the grid here as we get ready to go back to green.
Philadelphia is your early leader in this first of 3 10-lap heat races in the 13, and Keith Lord in the number 60 is alongside him. Then you got Nathan Wenzel in the 03, and Bob Eldred, the number 2 man in the points, running 4th here in the early going. The 16 of Dylan Zulo, the 79 Paco Marshall, and the 72 of Ryan Kuhn riding shotgun. Todd Darrington has gone to the pits. Kyle Goodboe also out of this one in the early going, as we go back green here with 5 laps to go in heat number 1.
And away with the lead is Keith Lord. Behind him, that's the 13 of Philadelphia. You see Bob Eldred and Nate Wenzel side by side for 3rd position. Keep an eye on that black and gray and red number 13 of Bob Eldred. A new paint scheme for the championship race here tonight. Already some damage, but he's got to try to get as many points as possible. A P4 in the heat race is not going to get the job done in this one.
Bob Eldred came into this one 8 points behind your leader, Logan Powers. Pays 10 points to win the heat race, 5 points for 4th. So you can see he's got to get while the getting is good. He has swapped lanes and now goes to the inside of Nathan Wenzel for 3rd, as we are going to get 2 to go next time by.
2 laps to go at the line, and you can see Ryan Kuhn not even in the picture. Heavy damage to the 72 machine. That is going to tank his chance of getting any solid heat race points here tonight. There are a couple of cars that finish that have crashed out, I believe, so might get a couple, but not nearly what he was looking for. As they come around, white flag about to come out. Bob Eldred knows that he needs that spot. They're side by side back down the front straightaway.
And as that happens, the 13 of Philadelphia working on Keith Lord for the lead. Bob Eldred clears Nate Wenzel off the corner, goes into the 3rd spot, coming to the line. One more try for Philadelphia on the inside, but it's Keith Lord winning it in the number 60. He will start pole for the EastRise Credit Union Doug Hoar Memorial 146. Philadelphia, Bob Eldred, Nate Wenzel, and Dylan Zulo round out the top 5 in this one.
What a start to the night here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Michael, if that heat racing is any indication of what we might see later on in this show, holy cow, hold on to your seats, folks. It's going to be a good one as we roll on to heat number 2.
Indeed, another 10-lap heat. Second heat of 3 heats in the night. 27 cars in the pits for this EastRise Credit Union Doug Hoar Memorial. And is going to be Reagan Parent, podium finisher last week, starting on the pole in this one, alongside one of those drivers in the hunt for the title, Richie Murray, feature winner this season in the 08 machine. Brad Bushy, his first time out this year in car number 52, will go inside the 2nd row alongside his fellow Flying Tiger driver, Mike McCaskill, in car number 3. Then you have Matt Smith in the 4 machine going on the inside of row number 3. Alongside it's J.J. Goodboe in the 92. Jason Ricker, the tech man, in car number 9. The 0 of Scott Dragon. And riding shotgun car number 46, Brian Hoar, will round out this field.
Brian Hoar there in the 46 car. Brian Hoar and Justin Prescott both running in the 46 cars tonight. Taylor Hoar as well, as an homage to Brian's dad and Taylor and Justin's grandfather, Doug Hoar, who is the namesake of this memorial event here this evening. As we get ready to go racing, and Michael, this one has a lot of heavy hitters in it once again, and it's going to be interesting to see some drivers come up through the field. Richie Murray there on the front row, trying to maximize points. He's got to get a good jump on this initial start.
Well, Richie Murray did tell us on the podium interview last week that he needed whoever was drawing the virtual pills for him to pick a better one, and he certainly got it. Starting on the outside of the front row here in heat number 2, will try to take advantage as they come to the green here, 10 laps to set the next 9 positions in tonight's feature.
And it's Reagan Parent getting the jump through turns 1 and 2. Richie Murray's going to have to settle in behind him in second. Brad Bushy there in third in the 52, and it's a side-by-side fight for fourth. You see Matt Smith in the 04 clearing Mike McCaskill, and now setting his sights on Bushy as McCaskill dropping through the field here early on. You see him with a little bit of right front damage. Might have caught the wall there off of turn 2.
McCaskill out there in the Richard Petty line, not quite working out for him as he falls back to the 7th spot. Back at the front, it is Reagan Parent and Richie Murray nose to tail with the top spot. Richie Murray in a good position here, but trying to get something even better, and behind him a challenge for third, Matt Smith to the inside of Brad Bushy.
Matt Smith in the 04 underneath Brad Bushy. Bushy losing it a little bit off of turn 4. Good job gathering that 52 car back up, but that's going to let Matt Smith get clear with the position. It'll open the door for Jason Ricker. Ricker will come on through in the 9, and now also putting pressure on is JJ Goodboo in car 92 as they barrel back down off of turn 4.
Brad Bushy hung out to dry in the 52 machine, continues to drop back. Surrenders the 5th position to Goodboo. Mike McCaskill trying to get in it. Brad Bushy trying to get clear. You know, these guys have had a little bit of a history in the real world, felt, but so far minding their P's and Q's in this one. At the front, it is still Reagan Parent and Richie Murray away with it.
Yeah, do real-world scuffles turn into iRacing scuffles? That's the question of heat race number 2, as McCaskill and Bushy fight side by side for the 6th position on the racetrack. As you take a look at the field there, Jason Ricker underneath Matt Smith. He is looking for third.
Jason Ricker, tech man at the Thompson Speedway, the Oxford Plains Speedway, and with the Pro All-Star Series. Pretty good racer here on the iRacing felt. He is going door to door with Matt Smith for that 3rd position. JJ Goodboo waiting to see what develops, but they are running out of time. We are inside of 3 laps to go in this one.
Back up front, Reagan Parent has not been able to quite drive away from Richie Murray, but Richie Murray can't quite catch him either. It's been within 2 to 3 tenths of a second for most of this heat race. Murray just doesn't have a lot to go, and Smith gets into the back of Ricker. Ricker spins in turn 1. Caution flag is out.
Oh boy. So, some great racing, but it all comes apart there as they get together in turn 1 and 2, battling for the number 3 position. We'll see if we can get a look here at what happened to bring out. We'll go inside with Matt Smith, just a little bit of contact, and that is all it took.
Yeah, this track's so momentum-based. You got to keep that thing wound up all the way around through, while also, ensuring you make the corner. I wonder if the 9 maybe checked up. Oh, the 9, you can see he's got those tires pointed maybe a little bit. He slid up in front of Smith there on the exit of turn 4. Goodboo is down on the inside, and yeah, it looks, I don't know. Yeah, Smith definitely got into the back of him. Good job by Bushy to avoid that. He caught the outside wall a little bit, but missed the 9 car. And Smith, it does look like, is going to head to the back for that contact.
Indeed. So a tough break for Ricker and for Smith. And it does mean that Richie Murphy is going to get one good shot here at Reagan Parent. So not just the difference between starting 5th and starting 2nd in the main event, but 2 valuable points that could make a difference at the end of the night, Nick, because we mentioned, Bob Eldrick came in tonight 8 points behind Logan Powers. Ryan Q 9 back, Casey Beatty and Richie Murray 10 back. So every little bit helps in this tight battle.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the main goal for these 5 championship drivers in these e-races. Collect points, put yourself in a better spot come feature time to try to make something happen. So Richie Murray here, this is he's got to look at this as an opportunity here. Don't want to do anything wild and crazy that loses you the points that were almost guaranteed there from a second place finish, but you got to do everything you can to try to go for the win.
Indeed, and it starts now. Green flag out, a green-white checker here in heat number 2. Oh, they touch in turn number 1. They touch for the lead, and JJ Goodboot to the inside, trying to take the second spot away from Murray.
And that's exactly what Richie Murray didn't need to see, as Parent slides up and gets him on the entry of the corner. Murray is now fighting for his life, trying to hold on to second. Goodboot gets the spot. Murray tries to cross over, but Goodboot slams the door. And now down the back stretch they go for the final time. Parent out in front. Murray trying to make one last move to get second. Not gonna happen. Goodboot steals the spot. Murray settles for third, while Reagan Parent comes home with the Heat 2 victory.
Mike McCaskill with a strong recovery to finish 4th, and Scott Dragon 5th with a little help from Brian Hoar after the finish of this one. We are 2/3 of the way through qualifying. One more 10-lap heat race, and this one, Nick, is going to have your point leader and your defending champion in it, so a lot can happen, and it looks like they are going to be starting right by each other in this one as the lineup comes out onto the field for heat number 3.
Yeah, here is heat number 3 heading to the racetrack right now, starting on the pole. And it's going to be Taylor Hoar in the EastRise Credit Union number 46. And to her outside will be Logan Powers, your point leader coming into the day by 8 points up the championship. Logan Powers in the 31 will start outside. The defending champ starts third, Casey Beatty in the Polson Lumber number 45. And to his outside, the AH Fence Company number 46, that will be Justin Prescott. Starting behind Prescott on the field tonight is going to be the 32 of Eric Steele in the Chevrolet there. And to his outside is going to be Brock Rouse in the 70. You see the lane moving up here. Taylor Hoare is going to take the rear. Then you've got Aiden Young in the 69 with Aaron Maynard making his IACT debut tonight. He is gotten himself away from the race control position for the night, so he will roll off the heat in Heat 3 from 8th position. And then David Weir in the 47. Taylor Hoare in the 46 will round out the field after taking the rear of the field. So here we go, 10 laps, Michael. One final heat race before we let them loose for the championship event of 2025.
And after Taylor Hoare electing the rear, that means 2 of our 5 championship contenders are starting on the front row. Casey Beatty, your reigning champion, entered tonight 10 points back of Logan Powers on the inside and Powers on the outside, both trying to get what they can get. Well, the getting is good, and the green flag is out.
They've raced down into turn number 1. Beatty and Powers. Advantage 45. Powers gets loose. Powers touches the wall there a little bit. That's going to open the door for Eric Steele. Justin Prescott sliding underneath as well, with Brock Rouse and Aiden Young waiting around trying to make something happen. Not the start that Powers needed in the 31 machine.
Well, we saw it on the green-white checkers in the last heat with Richie Murray. One slip-up, one touch, all it takes. And Logan Powers has gone from sitting in the catbird seat to hanging on by his whiskers on the outside as Justin Prescott underneath him trying to take third.
There is Prescott in the 46 underneath Powers, trying to finish him off for third position on the racetrack. As they go back into 3, Powers trying to pedal that top groove. It really takes a little bit here for the outside lane to come in. You got to work the grip into this old abrasive surface at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Powers trying to at least hold Prescott at bay to where he can't clear him. But right now, Prescott, there he is, going to take the spot. Powers might try the crossover, but there's just no room to do it.
Well, if Mart's not move, he's just going to try and get some room on the inside. And up ahead, we've got a challenge for the lead as well. Eric Steele trying to get inside of Casey Beatty. Nothing doing that time. Logan Powers not done yet, though, as they get the crossed flags in this one. Trying to fight back to the inside. Has to give it up this time around, though.
Yeah, and Prescott with a good run there on the top side to fend off the 31 of Powers. Powers was unable to make that top side work well enough to get himself back by. Prescott sliding through in the 46, and we saw there a couple laps ago, Eric Steele has driven right to the front of this field and is challenging Casey Beatty for the top spot.
Indeed, Casey Beatty sitting in the catbird seat, but Eric Steele, who got off to a late start this season, trying to spoil the party. As we'll take a look here at the rear chase, Casey Beatty has the lead, but one little slip, and there is a whole herd of cars looking to bear down on him. Eric Steele trying to get it wound up for one more run here as we close in on 2 to go.
Coming to 2 laps to go. Beatty seems to have it in hand now. Prescott has gotten himself a bit of an advantage on Logan Powers as the top 4 spreading out just a little bit. As we take a look back there, everybody back in single file position at this juncture. They're coming to the white flag in what has been, in comparison to the 3 that we've had, a pretty pedestrian heat race here.
Well, if you can call the point leader slipping back and having to try and fight back pedestrian, you can call it that, Nick. But here we go into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Casey Beatty, the reigning champion, is going to take heat number 3 in the Polson Lumber number 45. Eric Steele second. Then Justin Prescott goes for the slide in third. Logan Powers and Brock Rouse round out the top 5. So Casey Beatty, the big winner in the heat races, gets the maximum 10 points towards the championship chase. And my abacus is clicking right now, Nick, and as the warm-up starts, before we get to our sponsors, we'll give you a very quick update here on the points situation. Logan Powers now has 468 after the heat races. Casey Beatty jumps to second with 463. Then it's Eldred with 461. Murray with 459. And Kuhn with 456. Still anybody's to take in this 146-lap main event.
If anything, it got closer. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a chaotic race today, and we're thankful that we have Michael here to press all the buttons and do all the math for us as we get going in our warm-up. And while we take our warm-up, that's also our time to thank our sponsors for being part of tonight's broadcast, the EastRise Credit Union Doug Hoar Memorial 146. And first off, we got to thank EastRise Credit Union for coming on board tonight, sponsoring our biggest race of the season, the crown jewel of the IACT Series. $146 to win tonight, courtesy of EastRise Credit Union, formerly Vermont State Employees Credit Union and New England Federal Credit Union. They merged. They have become EastRise Credit Union, and one of the premier credit unions available to Vermonters. And boy, they've done just a wonderful job with that, with bringing on that new name and making all their members feel at home.
Indeed, they have. My dad actually has worked for EastRise Credit Union for almost 20 years. Wouldn't have it any other way. It's a great place to work, and they will take care of your money no matter what your goals, no matter what your needs. EastRise Credit Union is there for you. Visit them. Where is it they're located, Nick?
Just about everywhere. They've got locations all throughout Vermont. Being here in Central Vermont, they've got one in Berlin. They've got one in Montpelier. You go up north, they've got them in Burlington. There's one up in St. Albans. You can go all over the place. No matter where you are in Vermont, you're not too far away from an EastRise Credit Union.
And you can always visit them online at eastrise.com. or give them a call at 800-400-8790. Also, Nick, we got to thank our season-long sponsor of the GossCars.com IACT Winter Warm-Up Series. GossCars.com as we wrap up Season 3. A great partner. They serve the South Burlington, St. Albans City, and Burlington, Vermont areas, along with Champlain, New York. They strive to provide every customer and every neighbor with a seamless car buying experience. With a wide array of quality new and used vehicles, accommodating finance options, and advanced technology in their state-of-the-art service centers, GossCars.com is there to help you find your next ride, whether it's a sedan, a truck, an SUV, a luxury vehicle. Remember, go, 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 Goss has got it.
Yes, they do, and we thank GossCars.com for their continued support of IACT. One of the longtime sponsors, one of the original sponsors of IACT. They've been their third year on board with us, so huge shout out to them. Also, another longtime sponsor of IACT, we got to talk about RKM Setup Shop. You see the car running around the racetrack right now. That is, it's going around there so fast simply because of an RKM setup. Ryan Kuhn Motorsports is the place to go for all of your iRacing setups, owned by Ryan Kuhn, who we've talked about a ton here in this IACT season. He is the owner of RKM Setup Shop, one of the best iRacers in New England, possibly one of the best in the world. He's pretty good at what he does. In the hunt for the championship here tonight, and his expertise on this simulation is what goes into the RKM setups. You could go visit them on their Facebook page. Go check out their setups. If you want to win those open races where you can tweak on the cars in iRacing, you don't want to go around run 4th, 5th every night. You want to win the thing. So go get yourself an RKM setup. And once again, huge thank you to RKM Setup Shops for their continued support of the IACT Winter Warm-Up Series here as we go on into 2026.
And keeping the winter spirit alive with those outstanding Christmas schemes. And that is the conclusion of the final practice, which means, oh, by gosh, by golly, Nick, it is time for mistletoe and holly, otherwise known as the EastRise Credit Union Doug Hoar Memorial 146. 27 cars, 146 laps, 2 sets of tires in the virtual pit area. It is going to be quite the show. Let's take you through the starting field.
On the pole here tonight in the number 60 machine. That is numbered 17 in the simulator, but 60 on the racetrack. Keith Lord, the spotter, coming in and starting on the pole after an impressive Heat 1 victory. To his outside, it's going to be Reagan Parent in car number 17. Starting third tonight will be the defending champion, trying to go back-to-back. He's certainly got a chance. Casey Beatty in the 45. And to his outside, from Thunder Road, the Flying Tiger driver, it's Ty Delphia.
Starting in fifth, the 92 will be J.J. Goodboo out of Lincoln, New Hampshire, the strictly mini competitor at the White Mountain Motorsports Park. Then the Horse Dog Motorsports, car number 32. That is Eric Steele starting sixth. Then 2 of our 5 drivers in the hunt for the championship. Bob Eldred in the Mind Warp number 13. And the 08 for Rhode Island's Richie Murray, the Chuck Run Auto Parts car.
Starting ninth in the 46 will be Justin Prescott. And to his outside, the former Division II NASCAR champion, the state champion from New Hampshire, Nate Wenzel in the 03. Starting 11th, Mike McCaskill, the Tiger driver from Thunder Road, and another Tiger driver from Thunder Road, and your championship leader starting deep in the field tonight, rolling off 12th, it's Logan Powers.
Next up, we have the 16 of Dylan Zulo in he will start 13th. Then the former Thunder Road King of the Road Scott Dragon in the 0. Brock Rouse, the spotter, looking to get into the top 10 in points in the finale. Next on the field, then the 79 for Juan Paco Marshall.
Brian Hoare in the 46. Aiden Young in the 69. Ryan Kuhn will have to come from the back in the 72. Brad Bushy to his outside in the 52.
Then we've got the 07 of Aaron Maynard, the 57 Todd Darrington, Jason Ricker, Dave Weir, and all Bad Bushy, Kyle Goodboo, and Matt Smith as we are under green in the EastRise Credit Union Doug Hoar Memorial 146.
The field going down the back straightaway for the first time. Give the advantage to Keith Lord, but we have a caution here on the start. Something must have went awry right at the very beginning of this race. Trouble afoot already. We'll take a look back here and see what might have happened as we got this race going, and no sooner did we take the green than we were under caution.
Oh, well, we're still trying to figure out exactly what happened.
That might be our culprit.
But it looks like it may have something to do with that 04 of Matt Smith as well. Take a look again here at what happened. Looks like may not even be... Looks like immediately on the track, so something may have happened right at the start beforehand, but the bottom line is we are under caution on lap 1 of this 146 lap event.
Certainly a difficult day for Matt Smith in the 04. Was running up front in the heat race, got into the back of Jason Ricker, sent him to the back of the field, never did recover in that heat race. So had to start from the back and then involved in trouble here, I think, before we even took the green flag. So not the day that Matt Smith was hoping for to end his 2025 campaign.
That is for sure, but while we're doing that, we can mention more about this point battle, Nick. 5 cars after the heat race separated by 12 points as we see Ryan Kuhn in the pits as well. Certainly a bad night continuing that way for Ryan Kuhn. The 47 of Dave Weir also in the pits. I mean, there's a whole lot of potential scenarios, Nick, and there are definitely some scenarios where we have a tie, which means if that looking like that might happen, might have to fire up my other computer and get out the tiebreakers.
We will have plenty of tiebreakers here for IACT. Everybody in that top 5 except for Bob Eldred has a victory in 2025. Ryan Kuhn and Casey Beatty each have a couple. So, and those top 5 drivers, they're the only ones to win this year. So it's been a fast 5 group of guys, and nobody's really been able to get any sort of advantage going here as we are getting ready to go back to green flag racing here. Michael, lights are off on the iRacing pace car.
Yeah, we could always have something like how it happened in the Amanuensis Asphalt Mini late models at White Mountain this past season, Nick, where we had to go to the 3rd tiebreaker to figure out who the champion was.
Yeah, well, the mini late models were crashing each other the entirety of the final lap. Michael was very deep in his notebook.
I knew what was going to happen.
Green flag.
There we go. Green flag back out as we saw. I believe it was Matt Smith rolling back towards the exit, but the green flag is out here, and we're actually. And the caution is out again already, Nick. Oh boy, we're having a slow start to this one, and we're also. It looks like we're having something happening with the ticker, where the 60 of Weir and the 17 of Parent are not showing up properly. So, but we will keep you abreast of where they are running in the order, of course, but the caution flag back out once again here at the Nashville Fairgrounds.
Yeah, our ticker is not having it tonight. It seems a little bit upset there over on the left side of the screen. We will look to get that fixed.
What would a season 3 GossCars.com IACT event be without some technical issues?
Oh, it's been one of the prevailing stories of the year. Unfortunately, we've been fighting the tech all season long, but yeah, hopefully we can get that ticker to sort itself out here before the end of the race. As the field doubling back up, this looks like it's just going to be a quickie yellow as the pace car already down onto pit road.
Indeed, it is. Green flag coming back out here. Once again, it is Keith Lord and Reagan Parent going to show them the way into turn 1. They are side by side at the front of this one.
Keith Lord in the 60, Reagan Parent in the 17, side by each down the back straightaway. there is Casey Beatty looking to take advantage, knowing that he needs to have himself a good run here tonight to stay in that championship battle, to possibly have a chance at winning it. And don't look too far behind him, but there's Bob Eldred as well, as Beatty goes on the attack. He's looking for second place under Reagan Parent.
AC Beatty, the easiest thing for him, Nick, is if he wins the race, then he's the champion because of that 5-point bonus for winning. So he's going to try and do it the easy way here. Takes over the second spot. Will set his sights on the 60 of Keith Lord. Behind him, Bob Eldred had a very healthy point lead in the middle of the season. Some tough races, but he's trying to finish strong in a battle with his fellow number 13 for the 5th spot.
Feel like those two have been tied at the hip a lot this year, Bob Eldred and Ty Delphi in the dueling 13s, and there's Richie Murray as well. He is up to 7th position. As we can see, our ticker has sorted itself back out here. It's decided to end its little fit as we roll around here on lap number 7.
It was on hunger strike, Nick.
I think it was counting. I think it was counting caution laps, and the race itself does not count caution laps. So I think it had itself a little bit confused.
Yeah, we do things a little differently than the ticker likes to do things. As at the front, Casey Beatty working that inside of Keith Lord. Couldn't find anything that time, but dives back to the inside again in turn number 3.
Yeah, Beatty wants to get this lead and get away from the field. He knows that there's other championship contenders that are going to come try to chase after him. He wants to get out front, get that track position right away, and then go for it from there. Because he knows, win this race, win the championship, nobody else can do a thing about it. As Beatty tries to pull even with Lord that time at the line, give the advantage to the 60, but not by much. Beatty working the inside lane, looking to clear Keith Lord for the lead. Can't quite do it off of turn 2 either, as they dive back into turn 3.
But he has the nose up, and he may have him this time. He does off of turn 4. Casey Beatty the point. Keith Lord, though, dives right to the bottom, trying to come back at him, but it is Beatty off of turn 2, your new leader.
And Lord getting all out of shape there off of turn 2. Reagan Parent's going to challenge him. That's all Casey Beatty needs to see in his rear view. Blocking the rest of the field and driving off with the lead. The 45 of Casey Beatty looking to solidify a second straight championship. He is the early race leader here in the Doug Hoar Memorial.
But still a long way to go in this one, completing lap 12 of 146. A lot of laps and those 2 sets of change tires to work with, Nick. So we could see something, I'm thinking, Nick, like we had at Phoenix yesterday with the option title. As we got trouble in the back straightaway, we saw McCaskill get all out of shape in the 3 machine. Looks like he's going to keep it rolling, though.
Yeah, McCaskill able to settle that thing back down. We saw him broadside on the back straightaway, but he gets it held back onto here. We take a look there. McCaskill back underway in the 3. Here's a look at what happened.
I have to back it up. May have to back it up a little farther, Nick. If we're able to get a good replay, I will let you know. But in the meantime, we are going to head back onto Casey Beatty continuing to lead it. It's a freight train behind him. 3 of his fellow point drivers, Eldred, Murray, and Powers, running in the 6th, 7th, and 8th position. And if you look at the ticker, Nick, Ryan Kuhn starting to figure it out up to the number 13 position and looking for more on the inside of Brock Rouse.
Yeah, Ryan Kuhn never really got to show his stuff in the heat race, right? He got taken out very early. Car was heavily damaged at that point. Tough to come back from that, but you see him, he's having to work his way up through the field, up to 13th, looking for 12th right now on Brock Rouse, trying to make something happen here to get up and get back into this championship fight. And Michael, of all the 5, I think it would be almost more impressive than anyone if Ryan Kuhn could win it, because he missed a race. He was down at Speed Weeks during one of our races, missed the show, had another race where he finished multiple laps down. If Ryan Kuhn could come back and win this championship, it would really be quite an exposition from the 72 machine.
Yeah, missed a race and didn't get us. Yeah, he missed a race, and he miss a race, got a sub driver. Ryan Kuhn just kind of conceded and thought, well, it's just going to take me out of the championship, but trying to fight his way into it, got the Jingle Bell Rock going on the inside, and he is going to take that 12th spot away from Brock Rouse.
And it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, this is a long race. You got 2 sets of tires. We'll see if that kind of tricks drivers into thinking they could go hard the entire time. It's going to be difficult, though. You can't burn your stuff up here because this is a very abrasive, old, bumpy racetrack. It's tough to make up a lot of ground here and save those tires at the same time. So, we've talked about tire conservation all year long. In theory, this might be a go flat out race because you got 3 sets to use, but it'll be interesting to see how these drivers are able to make it work, and at the end, who has what left to go for the win.
Indeed, this racetrack was last paved before the 1996 season, if my research is correct, Nick. So it's got a lot of laps, a lot of age on it, and we'll keep an eye on lap time, see how they're falling off of the course of the run, and that may well help determine how, if and when drivers pit. We got a battle here for the 10th spot on the track between the 46 Prescott, the 32 Steele, and Ryan Kuhn, jing-a-ling-a-linging and running them both down the 72 machine.
Yeah, we saw both Justin Prescott and Eric Steele run well in the heat, and Steele is around on the back straightaway off of turn number 2. Caution flag is out. It looks like he just got a little bit high there and spun it around on his own. Tough break for Eric Steele, running 10th at the time of caution.
Indeed, we'll see if we can get a closer look at what happened here. Actually, we're gonna get it. We're gonna put it at full speed here, Nick. See what we've got on the outside. Prescott and
he had caught the wall there a little bit.
Got
in the marbles, and around he goes, backs it into the fence, and caution is out.
Indeed, with 23 laps complete in this one. And, it's probably too early to see some pit cars, Nick, but we're going to keep half an eye on it just the same. See if with those two sets of tires, if anyone tries an alternate strategy here to try and get themselves up. We see Matt Smith pulling up to the front of the field as our free pass car under this caution.
Yeah, it's tough. There's not really any track position to be gained here. You could try to short pit and throw that first set of tires out to try to gain track position later. But you really don't know when these guys are going to come in. I would probably want to stay until 50 or 60 to try to get that first set of tires on. Kind of split this thing up into 2 50-lap segments and then a 46-lap segment at the end. As close to that as possible. But we'll see what people do here. But I do agree. I think it's a little too early to be thinking tires at this point.
Well, pit road looked pretty empty there, Nick. The only cars I saw were people who had been on pit road for a while. Jason Ricker and the 47 of Weir, not the having the race they're hoping for, but definitely everybody in our top 15 or so deciding to stay out here as we are early in the EastRise Credit Union Doug Hoar Memorial 46.
Yep, just 25 laps completed out of 146. Still a long, long way to go in this race. This is the marathon of IACT, and it pays out well. $146, the biggest purse of the season, and its biggest race. The EastRise Credit Union Doug Hoar Memorial 146. As the field tightens up, the pace car comes off, and we are ready to go back to racing.
AC Beatty chooses the inside line for this restart as they put the hammer down, and Beatty away with it into turn 1. We see Prescott way to the top of the track in the 46 machine as he gathers it up. It is Beatty away with it. Reagan Parent had been working on Keith Lloyd before that caution, and now he's going to get to the inside of him on the front straightaway.
Yeah, Parent trying to get through into second. Him and Lord fighting side by side once again as JJ Goodboo, having himself a whale of a day here in the 92 machine, having a great run early on in fourth as the fight rages on for second here. Keith Lord maybe getting the advantage off of turn 4. What a run off the corner.
And look who is into the top 10, Nick. Ryan Kuhn in the 72. The white, green, and red flying on the inside of Nate Wenzel, looking for a spot from his fellow title contender, Richie Murray.
Yeah, Kuhn trying to make his way up through the field as quickly as possible, trying to eliminate that track position deficit that he was in to start the race. And he's done a pretty good job of it here, working himself into the top 10. A lot of the championship contenders are up into the top 5 or 6 right now. Richie Murray back in 9th, and Ryan Kuhn taking the spot here. Murray getting kind of stuck there up on the top side, losing a lot of ground here as they go back down the backstretch.
Murray able to shift to the inside. Contact with Ty Delphia, but everybody sorts it out.
Wow, that was
Some
close.
Great saves there. Wow.
Yeah, Ty Delphia did a tremendous job holding on to that race car. Oh my goodness. He kind of came down in front of Richie Murray, and Murray said, "Oh man, I need the spot." And it was like, you can try to save it, and save it he did. What a job by Ty Delphia to hold on to that thing.
Indeed. You see it right there. The wheels cranked hard, gets a friendly tap there, and everybody onward and upward.
Yep, and a little bit of right front damage there for Murray. I don't know if that'll be enough to really knock the handle off of his race car, but it'll be something to monitor here, as we see him holding on to 8th position right now. But in all of that, Ryan Kuhn got away. He's up to 7th and now challenging Logan Powers for 6th.
Ryan Kuhn trying to make this the most wonderful time of the year in that 72. Internet flickering a tad, but it hasn't slowed him down any. Right on the back bumper of Logan Powers and Bob Eldred, but they are all chasing Casey Beatty in the 45, who is just keeping the field at elbow's length right now as we are working on lap 34, this 146 lap main event.
Yeah, and I think we're still in that first third of the race, still in the feel out session, try to get a good idea of what you got underneath you here tonight. Do you have a winning car? Or a lot of guys, I think at this point, are just saying, I want track position, put me in, solidified into the top 10, and we'll go from there. Get me to that second stage. We'll see what happens. But right now, I think a lot of people are just saying, give me some track position, and we'll go and try to do something with that.
Indeed, you can kind of see that in the battle for second, that Reagan Parent has ducked to the inside a few times to Keith Lord, but really not forcing the issue here. Pretty content if an obvious move is not there to just tuck it and ride in this third spot. We do see some side-by-side action towards the middle of the field, though. Justin Prescott to the inside of Brock Rouse, and Nathan Wenzel following him through in the 03 machine. That is 11th and 12th on your scoreboard.
Yeah, Justin Prescott, we saw him there with Eric Steele. Eric Steele spinning out on his outside. Prescott, like I said, ran really well in the heat race. We'll see what he's got in the feature tonight, if he's kind of able to work his way up through, trying to get Ty Delphia for that 10th position. For Brian Hoar, Justin Prescott, Taylor Hoare, this is all a super important race for them. The race honoring Justin's grandfather. He wants to have a really good run tonight. Keeping that car clean, putting it well inside the top 10, putting himself in a spot where he can go for the win tonight. It's got to be of top importance for Justin here as we see the caution flag fly for the 4th time tonight.
Indeed. We'll see if we can figure out what happened here. Bring out the yellow. We had just gotten on Brock Rouse, who looked like he had bounced off the wall. Some pretty significant damage on that machine. But the yellow is out here with 40 laps complete. Haven't been able to find out yet what happened, Nick, but I do think that we are at the beginning, like at the early stages of what could be the pit window for some of these cars. We're about to find out if that's the case.
Yeah, this would still might be a little too early, and it does look like none of our, I don't think any of our championship contenders are going to try to make the move just yet. I think that this is too at this point in the race. If you're going off strategy from everybody else here, that's you kind of saying, all right, right now at least I don't have the car to win the championship, so I got to do something off strategy. I'm not going to beat these guys straight up. I don't think any of the five are thinking that way. Murray, though, Richie Murray's down on pit road, and that was the one guy I was thinking maybe he takes a shot here because he had gotten past, everybody else had gotten past him. He was running fifth of the five, and, back half of the top 10, didn't have the track position. Quick way to gain that back is to put tires on that are 40 laps fresher than anybody else, but he's going to have to start from the back here.
Well, as Larry McReynolds liked to say, Nick, when you follow the leader, you follow the leader. And he must realize he's got to try something here if he wants to steal this in such a tight battle. You also saw the 70 of Brock Rouse on pit road. And remember, Nick, it's not just about points. A lot of drivers here, they have one goal in mind, and that is the $146 first place prize money, biggest purse of the year. So even if you're not in the championship hunt, you've got to be thinking about what you might do to try and take home that cash at the end of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys, it's a championship race, so it's super important for five drivers, but it's also super important for the rest of the field because, like you said, biggest, most richest race that we run all season long. The prestige of winning this race is, right up there with winning the championship. So even for those drivers that aren't in the championship fight, they get a chance to do something really big as well and get a victory.
And we're about to go green, and you see Casey Beatty choosing the outside, Nick, and I think this might be a strategy move as well. He saw inside the last time work, now going to see how the outside works, and it works pretty well as he just drives off to the lead on the restart.
Yeah, no contest there. Keith Lord satisfied to settle into second, but look at the charge on the outside. Here comes Logan Powers in the 31. He's into the top five, gets around Bob Eldred, now working on Reagan Parent for fourth. Powers trying to get up there and fight Beatty for the win and the championship.
Indeed, Powers trying to work the outside, but Reagan Parent not letting him have it. Parent entered tonight 9th in points, so he's trying to wrap up a solid season, and he is going to keep the 31 of Powers at bay for the time being. Now it's Bob Eldred looking to the inside, and Kyle Goodboo, who fell out early in his qualifiers, started from the rear, is flying on the outside in that 17 New Hampshire.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the setup and the track, kind of testing stuff out today before we went out on for the broadcast, and I was thinking, man, if somebody can get that outside lane to go, they're going to go straight to the front. And looks like we have that. We found the guy who's done that, and it's Kyle Goodboo. From the back to the front, 44 laps. He is challenging now for the top five. Good run by the 17, and he's used the top side to get there.
And Nick, I just want to update you on something since we were talking about tires. Casey Beatty, his best lap of the entire race is an 18.66, and just this past lap on 44 lap old tires, he ran an 18.77. So as of it stands right now, not seeing a whole lot of fall off in the tires, at least among our front runners.
And a three-wide move. Down to the bottom goes Goodboo. He forces Logan Powers up the racetrack out of the way. And Lord sneaks in front, but Goodboo makes the move and is up to fifth and looking for more.
And right behind him, Ryan Kuhn, the three-time winner this year, had to come from the back after a rough heat race and the end of line penalty. But he's saying, Merry Christmas, everyone, right now, looking to break into the top five as Goodboo kicks it sideways. Behold.
Yeah, anxious moments right there for Kyle Goodboo, but he's able to hold on to it back up to the top where he has made his money tonight. He is going to surge to fourth place on the racetrack. I don't know, Michael, after a lot of riding around right there, you Saw Beatti running fast, laps up at the front. Good boost surging through the field. Here comes Kuhn. I would say that these guys have decided it's time to crank it up a notch.
Indeed. I have a feeling, Nick, that some of them may have decided that the next time they're coming to the pits, they're going to pit for tires anyway. So why not just let it all hang out right now? The danger, of course, is potentially burning the tires up for later in the race, but you can get yourself some spots right now. And one guy who has done that, Nick, is Kyle Goodboo's brother, JJ Goodboo, who is very quietly up to second place in the 92 machine.
Yeah, how about those Goodboo brothers here tonight running second and fourth? A solid showing from both of them. Reagan Parent, in the middle of the sandwich right now in third, but Casey Beatti is away with the lead by about a half second right now on JJ. Trying to just hold everybody at bay while the rest of the championship contenders jockey for position behind him.
And unfortunately, Ryan Kuhn is not saying Feliz Navidad at the moment because he got kind of pinned behind a fading number 60 of Keith Lord and ended up falling all the way back to the 10th spot, has finally found a way out of the box, but that has gotten him separated from Powers, Eldred, and all the rest. He is going to have to get on his horse and get in that sleigh once again.
Yeah, and I think Kuhn's really... his car is liking the bottom a little bit more right now. We've seen other guys be able to take the top. Kuhn's used the bottom to get around this place, so it's tougher for him if that bottom lane gets clogged up. There's just not as much room to move around. We saw Logan Powers recently using the top. Kyle Goodboo's been great up there all night. It's going to be this race very well could come down to who can use that outside lane to make their way up through the field as we see a battle here for third position.
Indeed, Kyle Goodboo on the inside. It's a battle of the 17s, and the younger 17 trying to get it. Here comes Kyle Goodboo, takes over the number 3 position, and the Goodboo brothers now go second and third. Parent back to fourth, and behind him they are wheeling and dealing for the 7th spot as well as Justin Prescott seals the deal against Nate Wenzel.
Justin Prescott, we were talking about him before the last caution, having a good run up through the field here, but Ryan Kuhn on his horse, or on his sleigh, if I was Michael calling this portion of the race, down the front straightaway, trying to get underneath Prescott, trying to recoup some of those positions that he lost there, kind of being stuck down on the inside line.
We can also give you an update, Nick. Our 2 pit cars in the last caution were the 9 of Jason Ricker, who was back in the field, decided to short pit. He is currently running in the 12th position, as you can see. And Richie Murray, our other major pit car, working to take the 15th position away from Scott Dragon. So they are gaining some spots here, but we'll still be interested to see how things go as we get into this race, because they only have 1 set and tires left, and everybody else has 2.
Yeah, but the one thing they do possess is possibly not pitting when everybody else does, right? So Murray here with, 20 laps or so on his tires, could opt to stay out and try to get some track position and hope that his car is fast enough to kind of stay there. But if, we have a 30-40 lap run, it might be more difficult of a decision there. You might have to come in and try to get that second set, or it's going to be a difficult call for Murray either way here, the longer that this goes green. His gamble when he took those tires was that there was going to be a quick caution within the next 20 laps of him pitting, to where he could come back in, let everybody else pit and have him stay out so he could get the track position. But the track position's not going to be worth anything if he's got 30-40 lap old tires, older I should say, than the cars behind him.
But as I said, Nick, I noted earlier that Casey Beatti on 40-plus lap tires was running within a tenth or so. The lap times are starting to fall off now. Our leaders are now running in the very high 18s, low 19s, but tire fall off may not be quite as big an issue as we initially thought. And think back to earlier this year where Logan Powers, the 31 we see on our screen, fighting for fourth, used the short pit strategy to win at Oxford and put himself right in the thick of this championship case. we could see something like that again today.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see Powers with a power move on the top side there. Bob Eldred just couldn't get the run off of turn 2. Justin Prescott hops to his outside, and Powers continuing to hound at the back of the Reagan Parent machine as they go through corners 1 and 2 once again. Powers desperate, trying to get that spot, trying to get closer and closer to Casey Beatty, who's got a pretty good cushion right now to the other championship contenders.
Yeah, he knows that he's got to go, especially with the way Casey Beatty is running, having put out a nearly second lead. As I said earlier, if Casey Beatty wins this race, he wins the championship no matter what else happens behind him. So he doesn't have to do anything crazy, but these guys behind him know as the farther into this race, the more they've got to push the issue. And we see Ryan Kuhn doing that right now in the 72. Sweeps underneath Justin Prescott and says, let it snow, as he gets back up to 7th.
Well, I hope there's not going to be any snow on the racetrack here tonight. I don't think the slicks go too well in that, Michael. I think that's why we have this thing called an off-season. But as we continue along here, you do see Ryan Kuhn working his way back up through the field. He had dropped back as low as 10th, back up to 7th position on the speedway, having some internet problems once again, but he needs to just gain spots, and Kuhn realistically will probably have to win this race to win the championship, but you definitely can't count him out of that. He's, like I said, one of the better drivers that we have here on IECT.
Indeed he is. Logan Powers, meanwhile, continuing to fight for 4th, and if you look up ahead, the Goodboos have swapped spots. Kyle Goodboo now running in the number 2 position on the track. We're going to see if he has what it takes to chase down the 45 of Casey Beatty.
And the caution's out. Caution flag waves here on lap number 71. That could be exactly the break that Richie Murray needed to flip this race on its head. As we saw a car around there, I don't know if that was possibly Eric Steele in the 32 up against the inside wall on the backstretch. Sure was.
Well, we see some pretty serious damage on the 32 machine, so it's a distinct possibility. We'll see if we can figure out what happened here.
Oh, that'll do it to you.
We came in on a little late there, Nick, but definitely, very clearly some problems here for Eric Steele, and Aiden Young, you could see, was getting bounced around too in the aftermath of that.
Aiden Young was levitating. Looked like Ryan Preece at Daytona.
We'll see if we can get a better look at that, but we're gonna come back, because I have a feeling now is when verily that is the case. We see people heading off pit road, and we saw Bob Eldred on pit road as well.
Yep, these guys coming down, getting their first set of tires as we approach the halfway point of this race. You know, these guys letting them kind of wear out that first half or so of the event, and now as we get closer and closer to halfway, these guys are going to give themselves one set of tires now and possibly one set of tires for the very end of this thing. Or it's possible that I think a strategy here tonight is to just change tires one time and stay out on the track the rest of it. That's going to be something to follow here. You know, if you can run 70 laps on a set of tires just fine, then you might as well just stay out if you don't think the tires are worth it.
Indeed. And Field still working on getting a line here. It does look like some of our top drivers may have stayed out, Nick, as obviously everything's still getting situated. Once we get green and all of our tickers and everything have updated, we will get the box up there and show you what the pit situation is. But definitely some different strategies at play here, as we are just shy of halfway in the EastRise Credit Union Doug Hoar Memorial 146.
Field about to get going green here again, I believe. As they continue to work their way around, we'll do one more lap of caution. So it looks like Casey Beatty will be the race leader. So he, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I would assume just about everybody must have come down pit road this time. I mean, I don't think there's any reason to stay out at this point unless you're like a Richie Murray or something, but I don't know.
Well, we will find out, Nick. The tickers do some interesting thing viewers may have noticed during caution, so we'll wait until it gets green, let that sort back out, and then we will see what pit strategy everybody was on. In the meantime, we are going back racing. Casey Beatty and Kyle Goodpoo, who have a ton of laps against each other at the White Mountain Motorsports Park, going green here at the Nashville Fairgrounds.
And look who is up to third on the restart. Ryan Kuhn shoots to the outside, looking to get past Goodpoo, trying to go for the lead. So he's going to get around Goodpoo. Goodpoo holding up the 31 there a little bit of Logan Powers, stifling his momentum as we take a look at the strategy. I wonder if the blue bar there for Kuhn means that he took 2 tires.
That is certainly a possibility, Nick, and we will see what we can find out as we get into this race. But right now, it is Beatty and Kuhn, the reigning champion and point leader as they run on the track, and the 3-time winner this season, and the man who provides the setups. Ryan Kuhn go 1-2. Then it's the 17s found each other again. Kyle Goodpoo in third and Reagan Parent in the 4th spot. A challenge behind him for the 5th spot. JJ Goodpoo trying to get underneath Logan Powers, but can't find the hole.
Now, Michael, you have the official points as they run in front of you, and I don't. So I assume here that Logan Powers is cheering for Ryan Kuhn to take the race lead from Casey Beatty right now.
That would be a pretty safe assumption here, because Logan Powers came in with a 12 into the feature with 12 points over Ryan Kuhn. He has a little cushion over him. The thing is, if Kuhn took the lead and Powers finished 5th, Kuhn would still gain enough to get the championship. But if Kuhn were to take the lead, that would at least give Logan a little more wiggle room to work with. And Kuhn is trying. He is all over the rear spoiler of Casey Beatty.
Yeah, Ryan Kuhn trying to take that top spot. Logan Powers monitoring what's going on up there. At this point, we know Casey Beatty, he wins the race, he wins the championship. Ryan Kuhn, as they run right now, if he took the lead, he would win the championship. But Logan Powers would still be able to gain positions and still hold on to the title. If Kuhn wins, it's not a guarantee. If Beatty wins, it is a guarantee.
Indeed, and I'm sure Casey Beatty has someone who's told him that, or has just decided, you know what, if I win the race, the points will take care of themselves. And he is fighting hard here to hold off Ryan Kuhn, even with just past the halfway point in this 146 lapper. They know what's on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Both these drivers, they want that IACT championship. Ryan Kuhn, we're racing with his setups. He probably feels I should win this championship. These are my setups after all. But Casey Beatty, the winner of the title last year, trying to do it again. As we go back here, there's a side-by-side to more of our title contenders. Richie Murray on the outside and Bob Eldred on the inside, fighting behind Justin Prescott for the 9th position on the racetrack, and neither driver has got to be very happy with where they are at this stage in the race.
Yeah, it's looking like Richie Murray did pit during this most recent caution. Whether it was to simply work on some damage or got a set of tires, we're not sure, but you can see that 08 is pretty badly wrinkled at this point. He's fading on the outside. He's going to need some things to go right. I mean, we know Richie Murray is really good at tire conservation, so probably the thing he's hoping for is a nice long green flag run that we can set himself up to run some people down later on in the event, if I had to guess.
Yeah, definitely. But right now, where he sits 3 seconds off the lead, and with 9 cars in between him and that top spot, it's going to be that's a tough ask, especially with all that right side damage. Murray here, his hopes definitely seem to be fading as we see Reagan Parent is on pit road.
Reagan Parent has pitted out of the top 5 here. A tough break for Reagan Parent, who was trying to hold on to the top 10 in points. That's surely not going to help his chances. back on the racetrack, Ryan Kuhn continuing to hound the 45 of Casey Beatty, trying to have his version of a holly jolly Christmas. One more spot would certainly help with that. Looks to the inside again off of turn 4.
Yeah, and Kuhn trying to make that pass, because you look on the left side of your screen with the 17 of Parent falling out of this race, at least for right now. That has moved Logan Powers up to 4th position on the racetrack. So Powers could be in a better spot here, Michael, if we're doing our math correctly. Even if Kuhn takes the lead, Powers could still win the championship. Am I right in saying that?
You are right in saying that. So he's got to be cheering even harder for Ryan Kuhn right now. But if we look back here, Logan Powers has his own hands full. 92 of Jason Goodboo. Man, there's all over him, and there's all over him. Jason Goodboo putting a little bit of bumper to the 31 of Powers in turns 1 and 2.
Wow, some contact between the 4th and 5th place cars. And now Goodboo underneath. It could be a pivotal pass right here, but Powers able to hold him off. Goodboo unable to get the run off the corner that he needed. He'll have to settle back in and try to go for it once again. But that position's going to be something to watch, Michael, because like we've talked about, that would be a pivotal position if Ryan Kuhn was to take the lead here, which he's still right on the back bumper of Casey Beatty.
We are at the point, Nick, where every position is pivotal, and you've got to assume that you just got to get everything you can. You cannot count on anything else happening. We've seen that time and again, where even what looks like a sure thing can erupt into chaos in the final stage of the race. You just got to grab what you can and hope that it works out.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is going to be the battle to watch for now. This battle for the lead. We've gone through the scenario. Beatty, if he holds the lead, he wins the championship. Kuhn has a path to the championship if he gets the race lead, but needs Ryan Kuhn to finish 5th or worse in order for that to happen. Casey Beatty trying to go back-to-back. Ryan Kuhn trying to get his 4th win in 7 tries, and win the championship after making just 7 starts in 8 races. What a story that would be. Right now, Kuhn seems content to ride behind Beatty as we get closer and closer to the final third of the EastRise Credit Union Doug Hoar Memorial at Nashville.
Now, Ryan Kuhn is a veteran. I'm sure he knows that you can't assume another caution is going to come out and allow you to get that second set of tires on. He has got to, make sure he has a little something just in case it goes green to checkered. With the way the field has gotten strung out, I mean, certainly not a guarantee, but you at least have to consider the possibility.
Yeah, definitely. And Michael, honestly, the farther we go into this race without another yellow, unless we have one before 35, 40 laps to go, I don't think at least any of our top 5 drivers are going to come back in for tires. I think the track position is just going to be too important. We've seen, lack of track position really hurt the 13 of Eldred and Richie Murray tonight, and I think we saw Logan Powers slap the wall there in turn 2, and he has given up the spot here to JJ Goodboo.
Indeed, another pivotal pass here, another pivotal position in this 146 lap battle presented by EastRise Credit Union. We're going to see if we can get a look here at what happened, Nick, on the replay.
Yeah, Goodboo beats Powers to the spot. Powers has to go high. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there?
Yeah, it looked like they may have slapped doors a little bit, Nick, and that momentum sent him up into the wall. We'll take a look at it from above and see if we can see what happened there.
Oh yeah, I got him with the right rear. As Goodboo just kind of slid up the track.
Yeah, not sure if he might have caught the apron a tad with the left rear tires and that sent him up, but there was definitely contact, and that sets Logan Powers back to the 5th position.
There's a big bump right as you exit turn number 2 that can really upset your car if you don't hit it right. Oh my goodness! right in front of the leaders goes the 79 of Paco Marshall, and Ryan Kuhn goes around.
Oh. Well, I was just saying, Nick, you cannot assume anything, and we just had a major, major development in this one.
With 46 laps to go. Huge problems. One, Paco Marshall slides down the racetrack in front of the leaders. Ryan Kuhn gets hit from behind by JJ Goodboe. He spins, and we are going back to yellow here. Let's see what happened. Oh, yep. No, that's not the thing to do.
Yeah, and then when they check up, Kyle Goodboe gets into the back of Ryan Kuhn on the checkup, and they both go around.
Wow, you gotta wonder what happened with the 79 there. Just hung a left directly in front of the leaders.
We saw him way up against the wall. Not sure if he was trying to get to pit road or what happened, but we'll take a look here at slow motion, watching it from the 17 of Kyle Goodboe.
Yeah, he just slides down right in front of the leaders. Beatty does a great job holding onto that car. He got jacked up by Kuhn. Just a stack up there because, I mean, they go from running the race pace to, way off the pace. Difficult to see that.
Well, so far, Goodboe and Kuhn remaining towards the front of the field, still awaiting the word from race control on whether they fall in where they were running or what happens here. But, I mean, if race control deems that they were just a side effect and they get to keep their spot, that would be a huge break. On the other hand, I think you can make an argument either way, Nick.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting one. It looks like they're going to get to keep their spots here, which would, I don't know. It's tough for me to not err on the side of that one just because of the freak accident nature of that. I don't think anybody was really at fault there except for the lap car.
Well, that appears to be the verdict as they run. So Kuhn got back rolling in fourth, Goodboe in second, and looks like our leaders stayed out. We'll check and see if anybody in the back of the field decided to go to the pits, but we are going back underway with 46 laps remaining in the Doug Hoar Memorial 146. Beatty chooses the inside, has no problem, and now it's a battle of Goodboes for the number 2 spot.
Sure is, and you see Logan Powers running back in 10th position. Gonna have to work on making up some ground, but it's not gonna matter if Casey Beatty continues to lead this race, which he has since lap 11. Beatty has been untouchable today. Ryan Kuhn has been close, but not quite there. We'll see what happens, but Logan Powers, if he wants a chance, has to make his way up through the field here in short order. Oh, and Brian Hoar is spinning.
Update you on what I was going to say, but it looks like Brian Hoar has gone around in the 46 machine, Nick, to bring out the caution one. Not what Brian wanted to happen in his dad's memorial race, but he is around to bring out the caution here. We'll get a quick look and see what happened to Brian.
Looked like there was some contact off of turn 4, a little bit of contact there. Richie Murray sliding in. I don't know if Brian knew that he was down there. Murray drove way deep down into that corner there, tried to get it to stick, and it looked like it did. Maybe it came up a little bit. But yeah, just a little bit of contact there in turn 4 causes our 7th caution of the day.
Indeed, and what I was going to say, Nick, is you took a look, as we see Jason Rick are going to come to the pits. If you took a look at their battles box right before the start, you saw that Logan Powers was one of the drivers who pitted in that lap 100 caution. Decided that he had kind of stalled out in the 5th position, that if he wants to win this championship, he had to try something a little different. So he is on his 2nd set of change tires in this race.
Yeah, and that could be helpful. I mean, he's got about 30 laps, fresher tires now, so could be helpful. But he's got to make up ground here. These continued caution periods will likely help him. But he's got to make up as much ground as he can on restarts and then just let it all hang out here for the final 42 laps or so of this race to get up to the front, or at least in a position where if Casey Beatte doesn't win the race, Logan Powers can still be the champion. Use that cushion that he has in a scenario where Beatte does not win this race.
Indeed. Well, updating you again, you may have also seen Matt Smith and Dylan Zulu among the cars who pitted on lap 100. You saw Jason Ricco give up a top 10 spot under this caution to pit. And I'll be interested to see when and if the leaders decide to pit, Nick. They could be deciding to do it on one stop, but on the other hand, if Logan Powers comes up and drives right by him, they'll probably feel like they have to pit during a late caution to try and make up the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'll see. I think we're at the point where they're committed to this strategy. I think, the leaders up at the front of this race, Goodboo, Kuhn, both Goodboos, Kuhn and Beatte they're tied to staying out here. I don't think there's any coming back if you pit now.
Indeed, there is, but then again, I mean, yesterday at Phoenix in the Cup race, a lot of drivers thought they were done pitting and ended up coming in like 2 or 3 more times, Nick, so you never know.
Absolutely. So here we go. Green flag is out. Beatte gets the jump again. Kuhn jumps to the bottom, trying to get down to the inside and go back for second. It's going to be a fight between Goodboo in the 17, Kuhn in the 72 for second. While Beatte's got the lead once again. Here comes Kyle Goodboo whipping that top side once again. That's how he got to the front. Is it going to be how he gets to the lead?
Settles in behind the 45 of Beatte with 42 laps to go in this one. Kuhn in third. He's in the middle of a Goodboo sandwich with JJ in the 4th spot. And Nathan Wenzel, haven't heard much from him tonight, but he is up to the 5th spot in the 03, though he is feeling the heat from Logan Powers. Yeah,
Logan Powers there, Justin Prescott there. Powers needs those 2 positions real bad. So he's got 40 laps to get them. We've kind of talked about his target position is 4th place. He's got to put himself in a position where he can fight it out with JJ Goodboo for 4th and try to just hope that something happens to where he can still win this championship. But right now he still has work to do with those fresher tires as we see this side-by-side fight. Justin Prescott on the bottom, Nate Wenzel up top here on lap 108.
These guys are fighting for pride. They came into this event 7th and 8th in the standings, duking it out for position in this race, which may decide who has bragging rights in the final standings. Right now, closing in on both of them, the 31 of Logan Powers, trying to put those 30-lap fresher tires to work. First, he's going to have to wait for a lane to open up, and as these two fight neck and neck, the top 4 are driving away.
They sure are. Logan Powers might have to get physical here if he wants to get through. Got to make a big move. Got to make it soon. Time running out. Logan Powers struggling back there in 7th place, trying to win the championship. Back up front, you see the drivers going for the lead. Beatte's got the lead right now as we go on the chase cam with Logan Powers. How can he get around these 2 cars running side by side? Is there going to be a lane that opens up? Can he force it 3 wide? Let's go on board.
Indeed. Looking at these 2 going back and forth in front of him, trading some paint. Logan feels like he's got to just commit to a lane and hope it works, especially with the 16 of Zulo bearing down behind him. Wenzel getting the run off the corners, but Prescott able to draw back even with him in the turns, and Logan Powers, he's starting to run out of time, Nick. They're down inside of what would be a weekly feature at this racetrack. He knows he's got to go, and they touch in front of him.
And now Powers trying to get in underneath. Committed to the inside? No, maybe not. He'll let him slide back. Caution flag is out. Caution is out on lap 113 for the 8th time today. We'll re-rack the field. And now, Michael, the question becomes, are you tied to that track position up at the front of the field, or is that second set of tires worth its weight in gold?
Indeed, as we first try and get a look here, what happened to bring out the caution, some contact between Matt Smith and Reagan Parent back in the field.
Good job.
Sends them both around and brings the yellow out.
Good job by Bob Eldred there to get through. Now, if we go back to the front here, we will see Justin Prescott, J.J. Goodboo's on pit road. That's going to give Powers some track position here. It looks like Beatty's going to stay out. Kuhn is down pit road.
Yep. Kuhn is down pit road. Beatty and Kyle Goodboo, though, are staying out.
Yeah, and I think, for Casey Beatty, he's been out in front for over 100 laps now. The track position is too valuable. Maybe Ryan Kuhn's in a spot where he says, okay, I need to win this race to have a shot at the championship. Beatty's too strong. Got to come in and put some fresh tires on there and see what happens. But now Logan Powers up to third, really for the first time tonight within striking distance of Casey Beatty. We'll see what happens here on this restart, but Powers knows get to the lead, win the championship, and same for Beatty. So this should be one heck of a fight here down the stretch to see who comes home with the title.
Indeed it is. Just over 30 laps to go in the EastRise Credit Union Doug Hoar Memorial 46. And two of our, actually, because with Richie Murray staying out of this caution, 3 of our championship contenders are now in the top 5. Bob Eldred, a few positions behind in 8th, trying to work his way back. And we're going to see what we've got. We see Casey Beatty picking the outside for this restart. He's kind of been mixing it up, outside, inside, trying to keep everyone on their toes. Sorry about that, but going to see if it works.
Well, here we go. This could be the biggest restart of the IACT season. Casey Beatty outside. Kyle Goodboo inside. Keep an eye on the red number 31 of Logan Powers as we go back to green.
Beatty once again has no problem taking the top spot. Logan Powers has no problem disposing of Dylan Zulo for the 3rd position, and he will set chase to the top 2 with 30-lap fresher tires behind him. Richie Murray knows it's time to go as well. He is to the inside of Dylan Zulo for 4th place.
Richie Murray using that pit strategy to get up into the front of the field, using that track position. Bob Eldred as well. Now, can they hold it? Can they make a charge for the front of the field? Meanwhile, we're going to be watching for the cars that pitted. Ryan Kuhn trying to get his way back up through the field on the fresh set of Hoosier tires as he slides back up into 8th position and works on Bob Eldred for 7th.
You can see from our battles box as well, Richie Murray, one of the drivers who pitted along with Logan Powers on lap 100. Ricker and the 13 of Eldred at lap 103. But Ryan Kuhn, of all these drivers, has the freshest rubber with that lap 113 pit stop along with Goodboo. And he is making some hay, getting the snow blower out on the inside, trying to follow Jason Ricker through here.
Yeah, and I think, Michael, where we're going to see the biggest gain from those tires might be as the tires that the top 2 are on, Beatty and Goodboo, those lap 70 tires, as those get to lap 50, 60 or more. So in the very closing laps, we might start to see some fall off from them, but see an advantage from those guys that did take the tires. But you got to wonder if Beatty and Goodboo are too far away, will it even matter? As you see, they've already worked out a full second lead over Logan Powers.
And Nick, Casey Beatty's best lap of the race is an 18.51 at this point. Last lap on 50-lap old tires, he ran an 18.67. So we might reach the point of fall off, but we're not there yet for Beatty and Goodboo. They have put about a second over Logan Powers.
Yeah, they have, and Powers just kind of sitting back and waiting right now, along with Richie Murray, trying to just let these guys do their thing, hope those tires kind of wear out, and Beatty just knowing that if he has the lead, he's going to be good. But here comes Ryan Kuhn. Will he look 3 wide? Down to the inside goes Kuhn. Underneath Eldred and Ricker trying to take 2 spots for the price of 1, and he is going to get them into turn 3.
Ryan Kuhn does not realize that Christmas is the time of giving. Right there, he did some taking, and it gets him up to the 6th position. He'll now try and run down Zulo as they continue to fight side by side behind him.
Kuhn trying to get back into this fight as quickly as possible on the fresh tires, as we see the battle continuing to wage on there between Goodboo and Bob Eldred, nearly going 3 wide again. There is the 46 of Prescott in that deal as well. As we take a look here at the field, Beatty still out in front. And Michael, we have 22 laps to go in the 2025 IACT season. And contact sends Ricker up the racetrack.
Ricker able to hold on to it, but surrenders a lot of spots, gets in the wall again off of turn 2. A top 10 run going by the wayside for him. Let's check back in on our top 2. It is all Casey Beatty and Kyle Goodboo. And if anything, they're pulling away a tiny bit from Logan Powers at this point. The gap now around 1.4, 1.5 seconds as we come to get the 20 to go. Logan, better hope if there's some feel good in those tires, it starts coming in a hurry.
Yeah, absolutely. That clock is ticking. Powers is in a good spot, but he is going to be the biggest Kyle Goodboo fan of all right now, because I assume, Michael, you can confirm this for me, if Goodboo gets around Beatty, that would put Powers in as the champion, but we've seen that easier said than done here so far.
That would be the case, Nick, but here's the X factor. Ryan Kuhn. That 1-horse open sleigh inside of Richie Murray for the 4th spot with 18 laps to go. I don't know if Logan Powers can run him down. Ryan Kuhn, I wouldn't put it past him, and then that could just throw a whole other gift-wrapped monkey wrench into this championship fight.
Absolutely, as we see 3 of our championship contenders fighting out for position number 3. Kuhn on the fresh tires is driven through the field. He's going to take the spot. Now Powers in trouble. Murray sees the chance to pounce. Powers is going to drop back to 5th as Murray takes the spot.
Yeah, Logan Powers could afford to have Ryan Kuhn get past him, but he really can't afford to have Richie Murray get past him. And you see him trying to claw back on that outside. There's no giving any spots at this point. Logan knows he needs it all, and he puts the wheel back up for the 4th position over Murray.
He does, and Powers working that outside, gets himself clear down the front straightaway. 15 laps to go for the championship. Powers trying to position himself in case something changes. Bob Eldred smacks the wall off of turn number 2.
Bob Eldred has had a rough second half of the season, and it continues there. Smacks the wall. 0-3 of Nathan Wenzel now alongside him. And I'm tracking the times, Nick. Last time around, Casey Beatty, your leader, ran an 18.89. Ryan Kuhn ran an 18.75. We're going to see what it looks like this time around. 18.91 for Beatty, 18.78 for Kuhn. So he is catching them a little over a tenth a lap. Is that going to be enough time to catch and pass them, though?
Yeah, that's going to be tough. And you've got Kyle Goodboo there as well. But Goodboo is not just going to roll over here. He wants this win as well. $146. That's not chump change. Goodboo really wants this victory, but Beatty right now, he's been the dominant car. If Kuhn can get there on the fresh tires, it'll make things interesting, but he's going to have to really, really step it up here and get closer, down to a 1.2 seconds, but also down to 11 laps to go.
11 laps remaining. You can see the 72 of Kuhn getting larger and larger in the view. That time again, 0.14 seconds faster than your leader, Casey Beatty. It's down to a second. At that rate, he would catch him, Nick, with I think about 3 or so laps to go, but that's not much time to get around 2 cars. I guess we're going to see what tricks Ryan Kuhn has up those big red sleeves, and they're also side by side behind him for the 5th spot we could see in the background. Let's check in on that quickly.
Yeah, JJ Goodboe making his way up through the field on the fresh tires as well, trying to completely spoil Logan Powers' slim chances at this point of getting this championship. Powers, like we said, this race has been about staying in position to where he can use his championship buffer going in. Right now, that is under threat from JJ Goodboe as Casey Beaty continues to lead. If Beaty wins the race, he wins the championship. If Goodboe gets to the lead, it throws a whole box of worms in there, and Ryan Kuhn is within a half second now with 7 laps to go. The 72 is charging hard.
He has picked it up, Nick. The last 2 laps, both times, he was a full 2/10 faster than Casey Beaty, and he caught him even faster than I thought with 6 laps to go. Ryan Kuhn is there. He has 6 laps to spoil the party, and we're going to keep an eye back here because JJ Goodboe inside of Logan Powers for the 4th spot.
Here we go, fighting it out for 4th. Goodboe trying to diminish Powers' hopes of the championship. Murray gets in there. Murray trying to take the spot as well. Powers trying to fight back on the outside. Here comes Ryan Kuhn in the 72.
Ryan Kuhn inside of Goodboe for 2nd. They bump a bit. Casey Beaty to the inside to protect in the 45. He's got to hold on for 4 more laps. Can he do it? Ryan Kuhn pokes the bumper to the inside as they hit the back straightaway.
Side by side down the back. Kuhn on the inside. Beaty outside into turn 3. Coming to 3 laps to go for the IACT Championship. Kuhn with the advantage down the front straightaway. Back into turn 1. He's going to clear Casey Beaty and take the lead.
And as they run, Nick, with Logan Powers falling back to 5th, if I've done my math correctly, it would end in a tie between Kuhn and Beaty, with Kuhn getting the tiebreaker based on most wins. So, we got a crash behind him, caution's out.
As if you could add any more drama to this final race. We're going to have a green-white checkered to decide the championship. Kuhn and Beaty. Kuhn has the fresher tires. The caution is out there, still wrecking on the front straightaway. Tough break for Justin Prescott. We saw him flying down the front straightaway. Oh my goodness. 2 to go. It's going to be the restart for the championship, Michael.
Yep, and looks like contact with Richie Murray after Prescott completed the pass. Oh, a hard hit. Another hard.
Regan Parent taking evasive action to get through there. Oh my goodness.
We'll take one more look at this as they get stacked up and get ready to go back racing.
Prescott threw a slide job, and Murray just said, nah, I'm all set. I'm sure there was
crossover.
I'm sure there was no intent. Richie Murray, not somebody who would do that purposefully. But yeah, that about paints the picture.
Then several victims of circumstance along the way, and we do see some cars on pit road, most likely to try and fix the damage at this point. Prescott, Eldred, his championship hopes almost certainly done at this point. But here we go. We're going to have a green-white checker, and like I said, Nick, if I did my math right, as they run, it would be a tie for the championship with Logan Powers 1 point back. So if Kuhn and Beaty hold this 1-2 position, Logan Powers has got to get a spot in these final 2 laps to steal the title away. How could you script it any better?
Oh, I promise you folks, this is not a pre-recorded, predetermined screening of IACT. Holy cow. So,
Nick, the folks at GossCars.com IACT Winter Warm-Up have been taking some notes from the NFL script writers, that's all.
apparently. So just to make it abundantly clear what we're watching here as we get ready to come to green. Kuhn wins the race. He wins the championship. Beatty wins the race. He wins the championship. If neither win the race, then Powers wins the championship?
If Ryan Kuhn wins the race, Logan Powers can still win the championship by finishing fourth. And honestly, I think Kuhn picking the inside might have been the best thing for him, but we're going to find out.
Here we go. 2 laps to go. Green, white checker to decide the 2025 IACT Championship. Getting the jump is Ryan Kuhn in the 72. Beatty back to second. Back on Logan Powers. He needs the one spot to get the title. He's underneath JJ Goodboe. Coming back to the white flag lap. Out in front is Kuhn.
Goodboe had closed the door. Logan Powers tried to punch it open but cannot get there. Here they come to the line. It is going to be his 4th win of the season. Ryan Kuhn in the 72 brings it home. Casey Beatty, Kyle Goodboe, JJ Goodboe, and Logan Powers. And Nick, I'm going to let you take the next section because I got to get my abacus out and make sure of all this.
Ryan Kuhn, unofficially the 2025 GossCars.com IACT champion, stealing it from Casey Beatty, who led over 100 laps and finishes second in the race. We're doing the official math now, obviously with 3 drivers finishing within 1 point of the championship. We got to make sure it's official. Still declaring this as unofficial at this time, but Ryan Kuhn, as of now, is your 2025 champion with Casey Beatty in a dead heat to the finish, tied atop the point standings after 8 races is what we have unofficially at this time. Logan Powers finishing 3rd in the standings, finishing 5th place in the race. Oh my goodness, 1 point back is what Powers would have been. And Michael, do we have an official announcement?
I've added it up, Nick. I've checked it twice, made my list, and I have Logan Powers with 530 points, Casey Beatty with 531 points, and Ryan Kuhn also with 531 points. So based on 4 wins to Casey Beatty's 2, that makes Ryan Kuhn the 2025 GossCars.com IACT champion.
Wow, how about that? What a night. And it is Ryan Kuhn getting it done by no points, by a tiebreaker over Casey Beatty. As we wait here for our top 3 to get in, we will be talking to Ryan Kuhn, Casey Beatty, and Kyle Goodboe here tonight, and Ryan Kuhn joining into our broadcast booth here. Ryan, let me be the first one to tell you, congratulations, you're the 2025 champion of IACT.
Really? I thought Beatty was the champion, but that's news to me. Well, thank you. Fun season. It was a hell of a season with you guys, and great league you guys put on. Honestly, better than most leagues I've ran in the past, so you guys do an unbelievable job, incredible job by everyone who's put this whole IACT deal on. So I just want to say a huge thank you, and I'm sure everybody would agree with this. Huge thank you to everyone who put this entire show on and this whole deal, and I had a lot of fun.
Ryan, so first I'll give you the math. You were 7 points behind Beatty entering the feature, 12 points behind Powers, but with the 75 points to his 68 for finishing second, that makes you a tie. Logan Powers, by finishing 5th, ends up 1 point behind you, and you get it on the tiebreaker with more wins, so it's literally as close as it could be. So I guess just take us through that final stage of the race. You waited, you decided to pit with about 35 to go, and a lot of the front runners stayed out. How are you feeling over that final run of the race?
Yeah, I didn't think the tires would last, honestly, and Kyle and Casey stayed out. They said they were going to stay out. They thought they had enough tire left, but I think they just got tight at the end, and judging by the first stint we ran and how hard I ran, I think it was the right call to come down pit road, put tires on it, and clearly it was. So I had a heck of a time running with you guys, and I just can't thank you guys enough for putting this entire deal on, and I hope we can do it again.
Well, Ryan, congratulations. What a race. You guys put on a tremendous show for the fans, and that late race charge up through the field. It reminds me of, I think, the 2009 NASCAR All-Star race when Darrell Waltrip exclaimed that Kyle Busch put a set of goodbyes on his car. I think that's pretty much what you did there at the end. So congratulations on a great season. And how about winning the championship after only starting 7 of the 8 races? Quite a feat from you, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, if only I could make that last race, I think I could have been able to run away with it, but missed that race due to speed weeks and had a great time down there. And honestly, I didn't even think I had a shot at the title until someone told me I was not that far back last week. So, kind of got screwed out of the heat race with a couple incidents. One was my fault, and it was just a bad move on my part. And the second one, I just had nowhere to go, get caught up in an incident, and it just at that point, I just wanted to go out and win. That was the goal tonight, just to come out and come home with a victory and have a good time.
And everything else by doing that took care of itself. Once again, congratulations, Ryan. Thank you for providing the setups all year, and we can't wait to see you with the real racing season getting started up soon.
I appreciate it, guys. See you guys this year.
That is Ryan Kuhn, your winner and the champion on the tiebreaker, the 2025 GossCars.com ICT series. And now we're going to go from the thrill of victory to the agony of defeat. Casey Beatty, who dominated this race. Casey literally came as close as possible to defending your crown without actually defending it. Can you just take us through how you're feeling right now?
Yeah, definitely sucks to lose it in a tiebreaker. Definitely think if we had a few better weeks there, we would have been a little bit better off. But unfortunately, we didn't have those weeks early in the season. No, it definitely sucks. Tried the one stop there, and kind of was holding on there at the end of that long green flag run. Just the 2 stop and then taking tires at that lap 108 caution or whatever it was definitely the play. And unfortunately, it just didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, take us back through that decision. I mean, Michael and I were talking about it up here in the broadcast booth. How difficult of a decision that must have been to, give up that track position to get those tires at that point in the race. I mean, nobody else really had that dilemma, except for you and Kyle, being guys that had been up front for most of the day. At the time, what made you think that holding on to the tires was going to be the better call?
The first run we had, I felt at the end of the first run, the car was still very, very good. It could still run extremely fast lap times. So I was hoping the second half was going to play the same, but it just right front wore a little bit more. We pushed it a little bit harder than I wanted to early, and it just it bit me at the end of how fast of a pace me and Kuhn ran. But yeah, it just sucks, but we'll take this one on the chin and come back next season.
Casey, you certainly gave it a valiant effort, gave our fans a thrill along the way, 2 wins to a really good season overall. But thank you again for participating, and we are looking forward to seeing you at the Milton Cat American Canadian Tour season opener here coming up soon.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Looking forward to getting real life going. Got a lot of fun things on deck for this year, and thank you guys for putting this on. Thank Justin and Goss Dodge for putting this on week in and week out. So just thank you guys.
Casey, thank you, and congratulations once again. Now on to our third place finisher here tonight, Kyle Goodboe. Kyle, you weren't in the championship picture, but you sure were in the race picture in this one. Take us through your day, and ultimately a very good third place finisher. You had that outside lane working in the middle portion of this race.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't start out too good with a crash in the heat race. I guess I didn't do a single lap in practice, and I just didn't do enough. I wasn't really prepared for the heat race, so we self-spun, and hopefully I didn't clean out anybody. I don't remember if I did or not, but so we had to come from the rear, and I just kind of knew we had an extra set of tires than we usually do, pits, so I was kind of okay with using up my first set, and we actually felt pretty good on that long run, so, or towards the end of that tire stint, so I was kind of okay without taking tires there and just kind of biting the bullet on whatever happened, because, I mean, we felt good, and Casey and Ryan put on one heck of a show for everybody, and yeah, it was a great race.
Yeah, Kyle. I mean, obviously a very up and down season, and then coming into this one, really at the last minute, what does it mean to you to finish off this virtual season strong and head into the regular season at White Mountain?
I mean, momentum's like a real thing, and I believe that, and I mean, you can take it how you can get it. I mean, a top 3, no matter if it's in real life or on a simulator. I mean, especially with these guys, it's nothing to, I don't know, but yeah, it's just fun.
Well, Kyle, congratulations. Great season from you, man, and hopefully we'll see you back next year. And I think you're definitely one of the drivers that would be on the list of early betting favorites for the 2026 IACT Championship. You had, even with the bad luck, you had a good season, so congratulations. And like Michael said, can't wait to see you out there in the high banks of White Mountain here in just a couple of short months.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
All right, Michael, let's go through our final finishing order here tonight. Ryan Kuhn getting the victory, Casey Beatty second, Kyle Goodboo was third, JJ Goodboo with his best run of the season in fourth. Great day for JJ there in P4. Logan Powers comes one spot away from a championship in fifth. Keith Lord was sixth, and Nate Wenzel seventh. A good run for those two. Dylan Zulo as well, a good run in eighth. Richie Murray was up there at the front, caught up in the wreck there at the end with Justin Prescott. That caused the green-white checkered. He finishes ninth, and Aiden Young wrapping up the top 10 here this evening.
Indeed, and Justin Prescott finishing 12th, Matt Smith 11th, Taylor Hoar had her best run of the season in 13th, her final car on the lead lap. Wrapping up a very thrilling GossCars.com IACT Winter Warm-Up Series, this EastRise Credit Union 146, Nick, and I mean, like I said, it was kind of fitting. We had some technical issues early. It's kind of been the bugaboo. Hopefully get things sorted for 2026, but it was worth it to watch them go back and forth and just go right down to the wire for this title.
Sure was, and yeah, I can't wait for 2026, man. The real race cars are going to come, but man, the IACT contingent here put on one heck of a show in 2025. So congrats to our champion, Ryan Kuhn, and really everybody who helped put this series on. It's been a lot of fun, and going to kind of miss it here as we get into the real racing season. But yeah, should be back in 2026 and back and better than ever.
Indeed, and don't forget, we are going racing from the virtual felt to the real life felt soon, Nick. We're just over a month away from the Milton Cat American Canadian Tour season opener, the 5th annual Northeast Classic at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Sunday, April 14th, if my dates are correctly. It is definitely the second Sunday of April. Post time, 11 o'clock a.m., not p.m., at the Magic Mile in Loudon, New Hampshire. Hope to see everybody there or watching live on Racing America.
Absolutely. We will see you all there. For everyone back at IACT, behind the scenes, for all the drivers that put on a great show week in and week out, for all of our wonderful sponsors, race sponsors, season-long sponsors, thank you all so much. For Michael Stridsberg alongside me in our virtual broadcast booth, I am Nick Mumley.